did want to show y'all a couple of things about Grammarly. So the more I work with it, um, yeah, go. Okay. Um, so it is good. It does not seem to catch sentence fragments that well, but Words Grammar Check will do that for you, right? So use that. But you can go and you can upload, and when you can upload, and we've looked at how to do that, how to use the grammar check and everything that's there. Okay. And one of the things, you can click on this score down here, and you can also download a detailed report. So you go in and inspect those. Go in, accept, reject, that kind of thing. Report. Let me just get this in the right place. I don't like things like all over the place. We'll make this one number 2. Okay. So you can download that detailed report, and when you do that, it gives you a PDF that goes through and gives you the overall, and then gives you the inline there. Of course, at that point, you can't click um, on the information in the drop downs to see what they're saying. But if you needed that for some reason, it will give you that. The other thing that you can do, and this is probably where it's the most helpful, is you can go home, Kelly. All right, go home. Click on apps, and you can, install again. See, I uninstalled, so I could show y'all how to install it. So it's a simple install, not documents, downloads. Thank you. Save. Yeah, sure. We'll go ahead and do it. Didn't take that long. And then once, oh, really? Come on. Let me just find the folder since it's already there. Um, Nothing in there. It's working on it. Working on it. It's always scary when it opens up and there's nothing there, especially when it's like work stuff. I'm like, oh my God, what happened to my files? So once you open it, or download it, you just open it up, and you're going to run it like any other install. Oh, I'm going to need to get started. Yep, Word, and then I use Outlook, so I install it for that. I'm going to need to close these real quick because it's going to want to be closed to install it. And, okay, I restarted it. And then you just enter your email, your school email that you registered with, and your password. Let's see. Username Kwood at EPCC. You try to remember which password you used, right? All right, cool. Excellent. And then when you open up Word, it has a little add-in there. And so this will do, there's a tour. It'll show you, oh, well, let me show it to you because it really is good. So you go there to enable it, and then you can tell it what you're doing. So under style, we'll look at this, like it has business writing, academic, casual. So if you're writing a certain style, you can tell it what to look for. Um, Making corrections. Of course, you can, it's the same thing as it is online. Oh, document types, I'm sorry. Essay, report, case study, literature review. So it has these different options, and then some different settings. So when you go to Word, once you've installed the add-in, you can open it. Thank you very much. And if you don't want it to, it'll tell you, look, it's enabled. And if you don't want that to come up, you can say, don't do that anymore. But when you open a document, let's see. No, let me just find one here. Here we go. Here's a film essay from 1302. Because remember, in 1302, if you take it with me, we watch movies. Yeah. So this should be pretty clean, but it gives us, of course, obviously the same thing. Close that. Um, Same thing. Want to passive voice. I'm not that picky about that, but if we wanted to go to something, come on. Oh, yeah, right there it is. So I want to tell it, look, this is an academic paper, general academic. And then I can make sure that it's checking for, oh, those are on. So if they're highlighted, they're on. It's already telling me it's checking for these things. So here, colors don't. You've got that teacher who is all crazy picky about do not, and I mentioned to y'all before that I'm not that picky about it, so I'm fine with contractions. But if you go on to UTEP, The professors over there, at least in English, they want no, don't. They want do not, cannot, will not, shall not, whatever, right? So again, you've got to know. And they usually, I asked Christina, she did all the way through her master's there, and she said, yeah, they tell you things that people are very picky about. They'll generally tell you about. So tautologic, it reverts back. Okay, blah blah. Again, you have to read it because this is not a human being, so there's no replacement for the human being. So it'll go through and show you all of those things. And the other thing is when you are working on your revisions of your papers. I know I'll be having your essay one back to you next time. But when you do revisions, I ask that whenever you turn in your revision, you highlight the things you changed. So that you're showing me, in the document what you did and what in your revision what you did. And you can turn on track changes. Is that on? It's not available. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off my Grammarly, and that's the thing is you have to turn off your Grammarly and do that. So we can look at track changes like here. You can see in this document I already did some things. Like it has the notes that say no underline. I had this was underlined or whatever. I think that's wrong, but it will tell you what you've done. So if we change this to help, then what it does, you can see there. Let me make it bigger. It shows that took that out and put that in, um, you know, later, whatever we're doing. So whenever you make changes, then it shows them. It'll mark things out, put the things in. They'll be underlined. If I go ahead and add in something, so this is just an example. Right? It shows I put that in that way. And then whenever you print, you can go in and let me make sure this happens because I know this morning one of my students was having problems. You want to make sure it shows up where it's showing that markup, right? So it's showing anything like that. And then and I'll point this out again when I hand back the papers, but that's the easiest way to turn that into me where it says, when you make changes and you fix this stuff up, highlight what you've done. Well, you can just use track changes and it'll